For your first solo show in Switzerland, curated by Theodora Vischer and Sam Keller, you present three important series of your works, the new, banality and celebration. Could you guide us inside the concept of the exhibition?
So the reason that we chose the three bodies of work was to try to show my involvement with the ready-made object and with the concept of objective art. So as a young artist, when I moved to New York and I was out of art school, I became very involved in a Duchampian dialogue about objective art. And the work that I made was the new. And so the new presents objects just for their newness, that they're brand new. And if you parallel art history to another time, or you look at art at another time, and maybe a Renaissance time, you would be thinking about aspects of the eternal. Maybe they would be dealing within theology, aspects of the eternal. These are presented with dialogues that have been represented at different times in art history, the dialogue in the eternal. I've been very influenced by Kierkegaard, the philosopher, and by Sartre, by existentialism. And so these objects are trying to one-up life's energy in a way. And they're trying to become life's energy. They're about Gestalt. And so these are objects displaying themselves as eternal. They're brand new. So they're like eternal virgins. And so it's about displaying one's own energy, being born with purity, and just to display one's integrity of birth. Banality is really about self-acceptance.
Yeah.
And, art is something that can either empower or disempower. And the way it empowers you is you accept yourself, and it's a fantastic platform that, art's about your own potential as a human being. And the art doesn't happen inside objects that you look at. You look at a sculpture, you look at a painting. The art happens inside the viewer. Objects are just transponders that excite you and stimulate you, but the actual art takes place in you, and it's your own possibilities for transcendence. The way art disempowers is by making you feel insecure about yourself, that you don't have a foundation, instead of the opposite of having a foundation. And by making you feel as though you're not prepared, that there's something that you should know in advance, or that your own cultural history, economically, socially, education, everything is inferior, when of course none of that is true. Everybody is absolutely at the moment perfect. The new is very this dialogue about the outside, and that the objective is really outside the self. The celebration starts to go back inward, the banality goes back inward, telling the viewer that they're perfect, that their internal being, their internal history is perfect. Everybody's perfect, and it's about our expansion of ourselves. And celebration is a body of work that actually it has external attributes to it, because they look like kind of ready-made things, and they make reference to external communal life activities that take place within kind of a communal year, celebration of birthdays, of anniversaries, of Easter, spiritual type events, and a mythology. Something like the balloon dog is actually very equestrian and like a Trojan horse or something, or the moon is almost like celestial type. So it celebrates the external, but also there's this internalized aspect of archetype, and of finding the objective in the internal, and not internal, in the internal. I have to say that I respect Duchamp so much, but Picasso is somebody that in the last decade of my life has really come to the forefront of the utmost importance of artistic appreciation and of the intuitive and the profoundness of the intuitive. And the only thing that an artist really can do is follow their interests, but this internal life, internal subjective aspect, also you can find the objective. And the objective is really that which connects everybody together, connects the community, and what removes anxiety.
You went from ready-made materials to porcelain, wood, stainless steel and oil paint. Which kind of importance do you give to the materials you used?
Yeah, materials, communicate different things.
Yeah.
So different textures bring up different references. I enjoyed working with porcelain in my banality work because in banality I was trying to make people feel comfortable with their own bodies, and for self-acceptance and a foundation in their life. And when you think of porcelain, you can think of the bathroom, you can think of porcelain tub, toilet, urinal, sink, and so the comfortability with one's own body, but also you can think of more of an economical aspect too, where porcelain came from the king's kitchen. And so what's your position economically within your society? So also comfortability and acceptance of economic, that you're perfect. Everything is perfect as far as one's own being. So materials communicate that. Wood communicates a sense of spirituality. The church has used wood, and there's an aspect of that it's a living material, and it connects us to the earth. Some of the other works like stainless steel, it's fantastic for its strength, how hard it is. And I enjoy that it's not truly a luxurious material. It's proletarian, but at the same time it can have such a luxurious surface to it. Luxurious in a visual sense, not economic, but visually so intoxicating. And also very affirming of one's own existence. It reflects you when it's brought to a mere polished surface.
During your life, and especially when you worked inside MoMA in the 70s, which were the artists that influenced you more?
So many artists, have really influenced. But Salvador Dali, as a young person, 18 years old, took the time out to meet me. And I felt that was very, very generous of him. And I found that very moving. And so I always liked Dali for that. And I enjoyed Dali as a process of discovering internal life, kind of self-acceptance, going inward. I think Dada surrealism has always been an aspect of that. Of course, Duchamp for intellectual kind of rigor, and Picasso for absolute humanism and energy of the artistic activity. And I mentioned about anxiety. What keeps people from doing what they really would like to do in life is anxiety. And the highest kind of state of enlightenment in life is through the removal of anxiety. And my art tries to remove judgment. And if you make and have no judgments against things, everything is open to your use. It's at your disposal. Everything is in play. And that creates a situation which removes anxiety and really has the greatest potential for total enlightenment, to be able to reveal the freedom that one has for the gesture that they would really like to make. So.
And do you think that there is an artwork that another artist done that you would like to do before him, or an artwork that...
Not to do it for him. They're artworks that I enjoy, and I try to incorporate and keep the vocabulary alive and to articulate and parallel and to have a dialogue with. There's only one true narrative, and the true narrative is our genes and our DNA. That's the biological narrative. Every other narrative in the world is false. And so art and the connections that artists make parallel that narrative, that communal kind of history of touching and interacting and making reference to, parallels the biological narrative very, very closely. All consciousness does, but that's the way art kind of functions, and it always wants to become kind of life's energy and always fails. But I do think that it affects the biological narrative. It does, maybe in the form of instinct or other forms, helps manipulate this narrative. But this paralleling, so this reference, when you make reference to another artist, like to Picasso, and Picasso could reference Velázquez, and Velázquez could reference Masaccio, and Masaccio is referencing Praxiteles, and Praxiteles is referencing, this totem, and that's it's like the way the genes and the DNA are connected.
Have you ever bought another artist's work, or did you collect works from other artists?
I have to say I love Picasso.
Okay.
So my most recent acquisition was a Picasso, a Dora Maar, which from 1939. I have contemporary works, but as a contemporary artist, you don't want to acquire one artist's work and not another artist's work. And I know what contemporary life is like. I know what it feels like to be alive today. But to collect works from 19th century or from the past, antiquities, it lets you be involved with, what it felt like to be alive at that time. Both the understanding that exactly like today, or the mild differences of how one perceived one's, society.
If you didn't become an artist, what do you think you have done in your life?
I would have enjoyed philosophy, so
Good.
yes. I would probably have a pipe in my mouth and be sitting in a chair. No, but probably I think I would have enjoyed being involved in maybe a university in some manner, but I think within philosophy.
Okay. Which is your suggestion for a young who wants to become an artist?
Yeah. To trust in yourself.
Okay.
And follow your interests and focus on those interests. And if you do that, if you trust in yourself, follow your interests, focus on those interests, it'll take you to a very metaphysical place. And that's where you'll find art.
Thank you so much.
Sure.